Hurry.
And we're excited to be here, excited that you're here too. And we say you because we actually have viewers this time. People have apparently came and seen some of the, if you want to call them podcasts, what we did previously, seen our podcasts, and we were getting some interesting responses and some good feedback. So, hell, we'll do it again.
All good so far, so...
Right?
So far, so good. Oh.
Cannot complain. Well, I can complain. I could complain about a lot, but, yeah. It's up. Let all of our great viewers know that this bad boy is on air. And I wish I could figure out how to send a link out somehow. Whoa! Alright, anyways, sorry. So, alright, so, anyways, yeah, I've got some...
Welcome to episode 2.
Yeah, definitely welcome. Yeah, episode 2. We've got like some 2 previous, if you want to call them episodes. One of them was our first official episode. Since then, we changed the name from obviously from just simply the nonprofits to Prophetcast. So that's going to be the name of our podcast from now on, I suppose. Sorry, I'm half reading while doing this. And I also realize that I'm talking to the screen like there's an audience, and I'm just going to talk to you, David, because, you know, you're here.
Well, I mean, technically there is an audience, and that is the best way to address your audience is by talking directly to them.
I suppose. That's a good point. Yeah. Hi, audience, again. I'm all nervous now. There's actually like people watching and things, and, you know. Anyways, no, I'm really not that nervous. So you can kind of also see on my screen here, we got the nonprofits.com. You can go to the nonprofits.com. I'm going to go ahead and pretend like it's up right now. But you can go to the nonprofits.com and find more information about us, as well as show notes and links and the podcast, or vidcast or godcast or prophetcast. Let's go with that, Prophetcast, on our webpage. And you will be able to email us, prophetcast@thenonprofits.com. You can email me, Steve, at thenonprofits.com, or David, or Dave, whichever one you want to go by.
Dave is a little more...
professional.
Yeah, well, not really professional, just more comfortable, I guess. More relatable.
True.
David sounds too official. Like, David sounds like that would be your manager. Dave sounds like that would be your cool manager, you know?
Right, sure. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away with calling you Dave, though. I've called you David for as long as I've known you, so that's like those who call me Steven still. Steven.
Hey, Steven.
Steven. That's actually funny. You can tell how long somebody's known me based on what name they give. Steven. There's actually Stevie, Steven, Steve. I just said that. Wow. All right. Well, that's fun. That is fun. Yeah, so like I said, we got a website and some very brief but possibly fun, exciting, interesting news. We might actually make the nonprofits an actual nonprofit organization. Been looking into obviously there's benefits and things to it, but since I have such a good response with the group, I figured, why not do something more? You know, why not make it real? Like, why not actually try to maybe you can even get donations and donate it to various charities or
do community work or
yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, we're a part of a bunch of, you know, I know you know, David, we're a bunch of meetup groups, and we go, you know, we meet up and do things, and I'd love to go out and as an actual nonprofit, as a named organization, go out and show, you know, and do things for the community and show, hey, look, you know, atheists, not all atheists are bad, evil, immoral, horrible people. Like, you know, we've got, you know, we're normal just like you, if you will, normal as someone can be. So.
The vast majority of us are good, decent people who have families and, you know, actually care.
Exactly. Google. I'm responding to fans. All our fans. By fans, I mean my wife and Candace. Yes, it is. I agree, Candace. She said it's super exciting. Yeah, I'm actually really stoked. I'd really like to, you know, like I said, kind of take the next step. I've I feel like, I think we've had the group up for like 9 or 10 months, somewhere around there. It says in there somewhere. So, almost a year now it's been going, and it's had its ups and downs, but like overall the response is great. Like, I've had a lot of people, say they really enjoy being in there and really like that they can be open, and I want to kind of do more. So I also would, I'm going to use the garage I have out here in the back and kind of clean it up and host events and things there. Maybe do like a poker night. Maybe we could do like poker for a charity, or even just host gatherings. Get people who want to come in, and I know sometimes when you're an atheist, you're kind of the odd man out, and hell, it might be kind of fun to say, hey, let's have a board game night. Come on over. We'll go in a freezing ass cold garage and drink some beer or something, and
put some space heaters in there.
Right, something. So yeah, but. Fine. Why don't you ask in the Q&A then, Candace, which you'll see that point in about 15 seconds from when I just said it. Anyways, yeah. So like I said, I kind of like to do a little bit more, and I've got I want to say the wife's approval.
Yeah, I think it would be good to get more involved in not just the community in general, but also to get involved in finding more of the atheist community that doesn't really have a place to go. Those ones that are still struggling with their lack of faith, and they don't really not knowing that there's others out there that they can meet up with and interact with, because I know not everyone who becomes an atheist, but the majority of new atheists, they feel like they've lost their community, or they've lost this part of their lives, and sometimes that's not to their fault. It's the fault of the ones around them who,
yep,
I don't know this person anymore. They've been lying to me this whole time, and they feel like they've lost something, and giving back and trying to regain that with other people who are like-minded.
It's not easy, and it's funny you say that. Yeah, I mean, I know I've heard. Not just heard, but I've also experienced. People have told me like, I can't be your friend anymore. Why? Well, you're an atheist, and that's just I just don't believe. I believe what I believe, and just don't think that or not. Kind of just don't want to associate myself with you. Is essentially what they said. To cut it short, and yeah, it's just kind of like, but nothing's changed. I'm the exact same person. There's nothing different about.
The only difference is that you don't agree on them, or with them, on whether or not there is a God, higher power, gods.
Yeah, and
whatever you want to call it.
And exactly, and that's that's the funny thing is like there's no difference, and I mean Jake is a great example. Jake is a member of our nonprofit group. I'd say a good friend. Good friend in the as well as I know him. I've only known him for just a little bit, and I really
like a good guy.
He is. Like I said, I mean, in person, he's awesome. He's really easy to get along with, easy to talk to. But we disagree. He's a theist. He is a Lutheran, and he believes what he wants, or believes what he believes. And we play Dungeons and Dragons together every couple of weeks, and I mean, this last time last time I met up with him was, I think it was a day or two after, I want to say a big blow up, but one of the many posts that get emotionally charged and just out of control sometimes. And it was one of the ones where, he and I kind of went back and forth, and seriously, like, we saw each other, and like, I think my wife was a little concerned, and I think she was the only one that knew, because maybe Kyra and Brian also knew, but there was a little bit of concern, like, oh, what's going to happen? You guys are really, back and forth.
About to be a showdown? What's going on?
Right, and essentially, what happened? Nothing. Like, we talked, and we were just like, hey man, what's up? How's it going? Pretty good. How about you? Good. All right. So you believe what you believe? Yep. And I believe what I believe? Yep. All right, cool.
Yeah,
Let's go kill some goblins. It was like,
really that should be the. I mean, if only it could be like that in every situation, because I mean, the difference between. I don't want to make it so simplistic, but it's almost like you believe that chocolate ice cream is the best kind of ice cream, and they believe that vanilla ice cream is the best kind of ice cream. Why can't it be that simple?
I feel like you stole that from someplace, but it's a good analogy.
I don't know. Possibly.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a good one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you both can agree that you like ice cream. Great. And that's great. And as much as I want to say, it's awesome, and you should definitely look at things that you both, really you both share in common. That's great. That's a great way to build friendships, and to finding things in common is awesome. But I also think it's very important to to talk about and have different opinions, and to be able to talk about it and be able to differentiate the fact that this is somebody else's opinion or this is somebody's belief from that person. And it's,
yeah, I mean, you can equate it to, you can both agree that ice cream is awesome. So, like, for instance, with belief, you can agree that having beliefs is awesome. It's okay to believe
Absolutely.
in things.
Definitely.
It's just the flavor that's different. The flavor of the beliefs that are different between the two of you, and it's really kind of it's stupid to well, I mean, some beliefs you got to draw the line somewhere, where some beliefs it's just kind of like, that's a horrible belief outside of just faith and religion and things like that. But it's I don't know, it's hard to try and simplify it, because people hold on to the concept of God and religion and things like that very near and dear to their hearts and
Right.
their feelings. And if you have a difference of opinion on which flavor you like, then they take it personally, and that's sad to a point.
I completely agree. Absolutely, it is sad, and well, I mean, at that point, I mean, there's just some people that you're never going to be able to. I won't say never, but they're just not ready to talk to you, or not ready to.
Or you will never really be able to agree on the flavor at hand. You'll never be able to agree on that. And I mean, depending on what it is, you really kind of just have to let it go sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely, and exactly. It's kind of like I was saying. You just say like Jake and I. You believe what you believe. I believe what I believe. Let's go kill some goblins. Like, it's really, we can get through this. And that's the thing too, is it's very interesting, because when it comes to religion, it seems to be religion is one that's one of the few topics that it's like, once you have a difference of opinion, all of a sudden it becomes a debate or an argument immediately, because you have a difference of opinion. And that doesn't really happen. I want to say, I feel like I could say confidently that doesn't happen in most of your interaction in almost anything you do. I mean, think about it. A great example, I think, is processors. You have Intel and you have AMD, and you have ARM and blah, blah, blah. I'll just go with the two that most people know. Intel, AMD. I'm an Intel person. There are people who are AMD. What do you like?
Intel? Duh.
Good choice. I'd hire you again. So yes, so you know what I mean. Like, it's that there's some people that have the difference of opinion, and what happens when they have that difference of opinion? They talk about it, and what do? They say, well, look at this architecture. This one has this, and this many cores, and does this, and but this one over here takes this, takes the front side bus, and blah 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 blah. And you talk it out, and they don't hate each other, they don't debate each other, they don't not talk to each other. They don't even get into emotionally charged. I mean, really emotionally charged discussions. It might happen, sure, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then one could argue, well, the processor chip doesn't, it's not like religion. It's just not as, it doesn't affect you and doesn't affect as many people. Arguably wrong.
Really,
but
just thinking about that, yeah. That, I mean, differences in opinions in things like that is kind of a little bit different than, I guess you could say, faith and religion and belief.
Well, what is that? Are you saying that because religion has more influence, more play, more? I mean, like I said, what exactly is the difference? Because if you take it back at its abstract, it's just simply, I believe this, I believe that. Here's my evidence why. Here's my evidence why, and then you compare them and look. Like, if I was if you had a third party, for example, if I was Intel and you were AMD, or I'm AMD, you're Intel, we would both present our cases or talk to each other, and that third party would take the evidence, look at it, and then they would make their decision.
Make an assessment of the evidence and all of that, and
Right, but nobody gets labeled, and two, like I said, nobody's screaming and yelling, but one way or another, it's still just difference of opinions. Yes, religion has a lot more influence, and I'm definitely not denying that.
Yeah.
And that's part of the, like I said, kind of part of the problem, or like you pointed out, part of the problem with the analogy is that Intel versus AMD isn't really as much of a life choice or life issue.
I really think that that's
affecting.
More of the reason why religion and faith gets set aside from other, beliefs and topics and things like that. Differences of opinions is just because of how much of an impact it has on people's lives and how much of an influence it has on their decisions and their everyday lives. I mean.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean,
it may never get to the point where people will be comfortable with people of other faiths. It may never get like that. I mean, if you think about it, it's always been uncomfortable. As long as we've had recorded history, there's always been people of different faiths fighting people of different faiths and not accepting other faiths and doctrine and things like that. So
and that's true. You're right.
It may never get to the point where it's acceptable to have differences of opinions and you don't want to fight, argue, or kill each other over it.
I would hope that we would eventually get there. And actually, I don't know. I don't know, but I would argue that this is a very, I have not thought this point out very well or very kind of dug into it, but the idea that there'll be some kind of belief like that, or basically maybe the concept of that there's always going to be religion's always going to be around. I can't subscribe to that idea. I really can't, because I look at when the internet came out, and then you look at the correlation with the religious numbers dropping, and you go online and you try to research, I wonder why this is happening, and it's because there's a lot more information. There's stuff out there, and it's a lot easier to access it. It's a lot easier to talk kind of like we're doing. It's a lot easier to see things like what we're doing. People are posting things and doing things to try to get the word out there and to try to help people, and even just to do things even for ourselves, kind of like we're doing here. And with the internet, I just feel like the more and more we use technology, and the more we start to really rely on being online and the information online, the less and less we're going to have to worry about religion, because it's already dying off. And it's dying off because people are starting to get educated, and education is the one thing that kills off religion every time.
And it's funny that you say that it's dying off, because I read somewhere that the Generation Y, or whatever they are, the millennials, are actually more millennials are leaving the family faith and leaving the family church before they even go off. Like previously, like with people in our generation, they didn't really leave the faith until they went off into college and experienced other cultures and other worldviews other than their own. And now that every kid that I don't know, I think 12 and older has this mini computer in their hand, and they have access to all this information. And so
I'd hope 12 and older. I don't know if I could handle younger.
Just wait. They came out with the little cell phone watch, so you never know. We're going to have Pit Boys soon.
I would love a Pit Boy. I've already been trying to strap my phone on my wrist, and I can't seem to do it well. So.
Yeah, right. But no, I think it's funny that you say that. That it's dying off, because I do think and feel that there's a lot more tolerance, I guess you could say. Or a majority of tolerance with this new generation that's coming of age, you could say, because of the access of information that they have, and the access to different worldviews and different people as a culture. And there is a generation that is dying off that
yes, they are,
has a vast majority of people that are biased, that are racist, that are bigots. And I do think that some views like that are going to die off. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it would be nice, of course, as an atheist, it would be nice if people were able to move away from faith, but, well, not faith, but, just
Religious faith.
religious faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference, and that's a good. I want to say segue as if we're again prepared, which we're not, viewers. 3 viewers, 2 viewers. Oh, I said we're not prepared, and we lost a viewer. Oh. Yeah. So. Oh, damn it! What did you just say? God, I hate ADD. Oh, we got the viewer back. Hey.
That I think that when it comes to like racism and homophobia and things like that, that I do feel that those kinds of biases are going to be dying off, but religious faith.
That was it.
Yeah, I can't see how it would actually die off in a way, because if a religion dies off, there's just going to be another one that's going to take its place.
See, you say that, but I disagree, and education will stop that, because okay, one of the questions is, where do we come from? What happens when we have the information? What happens if in 50 years we have the evidence that says, look, here you go, we in fact, here it is, this is where we came from, we've got it all focused right here. You're going to have those people, yes, that are going to be, oh no, I still believe in God, but I mean,
Yeah,
as time continues, when the I believe in God dies off, I don't think that's going to be replaced with I believe in a new God. I think that it's going to be replaced with, well, I'm educated, so I don't believe in that nonsense. Instead, I proportion my beliefs to the evidence, and I feel that that's the direction we're going. Like I was about to get to for my ADD-ness kicked in, there's a huge difference between religious faith and faith. Just the concept of faith. Faith is, it's really annoying to talk about sometimes, because a lot of times we fail to define it. We fail to come to an understanding when we first start talking about what faith is, and then maintain that all the way through the conversation. Generally, when I am, or when we are, or when atheists are talking about faith. Generally
talking about a religious faith.
Exactly, a religious faith, which a religious faith is, is simply believing something without good reason, without evidence, without good reason. And sure, by saying good reason, that's kind of ambiguous. Well, it makes me feel good. That's a good reason. Sure, that's a good reason for you. Is that a good reason for me to believe it? No. Okay. Well, if it, yeah. Anyways, we won't get into that. But the point is that generally, I think when atheists are talking about faith and they use the term faith, they're talking about religious faith, just blind faith. The idea of, well, there's evidence in opposition, or there's no evidence for this, but I'm still going to believe it because it makes me feel good. Or
yeah, and I mean, on the flip side of that, there's faith based on evidence. Like the chair that I'm sitting in, I have faith that this chair is going to be holding me through the process of this podcast, because I have evidence that shows that this chair has been holding up my weight for a long time now, and it hasn't shown any sign of breaking.
Okay, well, but there is a possibility that it could break, and there is a possibility that it couldn't hold your weight.
Sure. There's a possibility, but the evidence so far suggests that it's not going to, and so I can have faith that this chair will not break.
Right, exactly, and yeah, and I think that, I'm pretty sure it's Matt Dillahunty, I'm almost positive, he defined faith, oh man, he did it so well, and I just lost it again. Son of a. Oh, that's right. He said when it comes to faith, it's not that he has faith, like for example, that the sun's going to come up. It's that he has, it's he or I, if you will. Yeah, I have a reasonable expectation based on prior evidence, based on repetition, based on. I mean, yes, the sun could not come up tomorrow, but the difference is it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, it's a miracle. What happened? It's if the sun came up, we'd investigate why. Let me back that up. I wish I could.
If the sun did not come up, more than likely that means that the sun had exploded.
Or something, right?
Something.
There's something, and we could investigate and find out why. But the point is that, like I said, I don't have faith that the sun's going to come up. I have a reasonable expectation based on evidence and, I mean, and repeatability, I guess. Just, God, what is that word I'm looking for? Yeah, anyways. I'm looking for faith. Yeah, right? Faith. Anyways. Sure. Yeah, I just, like I said, and so it's pretty common that when we talk to people, even in our group, when they bring up faith, it's always the same. Well, not the same. Sometimes it's a lot of the misunderstanding of, well, we're talking about religious faith, and yes, faith can also be faith in humanity, as in I have faith that you are a good person, David, which is sure, I mean, yes,
Based
that's
on
also.
prior evidence, I've been a good person. Well, there
Right.
were some
Oh,
instances where I wasn't a good person,
right,
but I
right.
learned from those mistakes.
Yeah, and so I mean, there's a big difference there. So it's sometimes just kind of frustrating to do that. And I think also I'll segue into something else that's relatively frustrating that usually kind of goes hand in hand, and that's just the concept of right and wrong. That one kind of drives me crazy a little too, because whenever you
Well,
start,
what do you mean exactly?
what I mean about right and wrong, well,
Like, do you mean subjective right and wrong, objective right and wrong, or like tying into, like the subjective objective morality in a way?
well, mostly I'm talking about not absolute right and wrong. Basically, just not talking in absolutes.
Oh, okay.
Essentially
Okay.
is that where you talk about, well, what's right and wrong. It's like, well, who are you to say, or how do you know what's right and wrong? It's like, well, because we're the ones that determine what's right and wrong. We have empathy, we have compassion, we can think critically, we can recognize, well, let's see, there's a situation, and this is, here's the pieces, or here's the evidence, and let's see, if this situation happened, how would I want it handled, or what do I think would be, how do I think this other person would be handled, or, well, when we're talking about right and wrong in terms of having a conversation, we can determine if something is better or worse than another situation. For example, if your kid is unruly, should you take them before the city elders, tell them that they are a drunkard, and stone them to death? Or should you perhaps sit down and talk to them, or discipline them with maybe a timeout, or take away a toy, or however you want to go ahead and discipline? The point is that with those two situations, is one absolutely right and one absolutely wrong?
Well,
One could argue, but no, there's no absolute right, absolute wrong. The difference is that we look at the well-being and of the other person.
taking those two situations, your kid's unruly. You can either stone them to death, or you can discipline them, put them in timeout, take away a toy, whatever. I think that we can arguably say that stoning your child to death because they are being unruly, that is wrong, because like you said, you have to look at the benefits for all of the parties. I mean, we generally know that living is more preferable over death.
Mm-hmm.
And so killing your child because they're being unruly your child does not benefit from dying.
Right.
So you can kind of say how that is not right. That is not good.
Exactly. And I mean, exactly. It's pretty, I mean, like I said, trying not to talk in absolutes, but one would argue that we could probably all agree that that the well-being of another person, or the well-being of a person, is a good place to start, is a good foundation to start of whether or not we think something is right or wrong. If it negatively affects, if it harms the well-being of another person or yourself, we could probably agree in 90%, 95% of the cases that that's probably wrong, or something that's not something we don't want, that is a less desirable outcome than something else. Right. Now, again, there could be S&M and who knows. There are always going to be situations. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule. Exceptions to the rule only further prove the rule. So, I know. But, it's damn it, I forgot where I was going again. This is fun. Anyways, that's right and wrong. Yeah. So, anyways, like I said, when we can start at a single point and come to some agreement and then work up from there. And it really drives me crazy when you start talking about, well, but I can believe whatever I want to believe, and you can't tell me that I'm right, and you can't tell me that I'm wrong, but yes, I have an opinion, and if we're going to ever be able to figure out if anything is ever right and wrong, we're going to have to talk about this. We're going to have to come to some agreement and discuss it, which is, I mean, that's that's what I'd like to do, but I mean, that's kind of what happens, right? We don't just wake up and then just look around at each other and go, well, I know how to treat everyone now because I just know it.
No, yeah, you have to take a look at every situation, and you have to work your way through the situation and the consequences and the actions that are taking place in order to determine whether or not something is right or wrong. You can't just go into a situation with a predetermined uh, uh,
Presupposition?
presupposition of what is right and what is wrong, and then just immediately label whatever situation you're in with what you assume is right and wrong. You have to take a critical eye, and you have to look over every aspect of what is happening.
Yep, exactly. Context matters.
Yes.
And you're not just going to be able to put a fucking rubber stamp on everything. You can't just say, this is always right, and this is wrong. It's easy as that. Doesn't work like that. And you want to know personally where I think we should start from?
A good example of that you could get into that would be slavery. At one point, we thought that slavery was good and was right. And then we were able to, progress and take a look at it and say, these slaves are not actually benefiting from being slaves.
Right.
They're not gaining anything from being whipped and tortured and worked to death. So we can say that this is not good because these people are not benefiting from being slaves.
Right, and yeah, exactly. And I mean, and again, just from one point of view, or for one aspect of it, yeah, we can look at the well-being and say, hey, they're humans. Well, I'm human. Whoa, okay. Well, we share that in common. Well, I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Well, I wonder if they want to be. Oh, they don't. Oh, crazy. And then
maybe this isn't good. Maybe this is bad.
Right. Oh, crazy concept. But we learned. Exactly. You're like, we learned, and it wasn't easy, right? We didn't just like wake up one day and go, oh, fuck, damn it, we were wrong about this. Sorry, guys. You guys can bail out. See you guys later.
Yeah, an epiphany in the tub.
We had a war. We had a war over it. It, along with, imagine, other things, as well. But we fought over it, and it's the remnants of it, the repercussions of repercussions of it is we're still still dealing with it, and it took a long time, and it took fighting and killing and a lot of arguing and discussing and debating to come to an agreement that, yeah, you know what, we were wrong, and we really need to start treating people like they're humans and treat everybody fairly. And
so then tying this back into no, sorry if I cut you off on your thought there, but I just had a thought tying this back into what we were saying about how you think that eventually religion and religious faith are going to be dying out. So then, do you think that the more information that comes out about how religious faith can actually be damaging to one's well-being can affect people's idea of it? Like, do you think that that's a major factor of people, moving away from, especially the younger generation, moving away from their family's faith and things like that? They see that these religious beliefs actually are harming the well-being of people around them?
Well, I think I don't know. You're talking about in terms of younger generation. I mean, maybe
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm curious. I wonder how much it is that is just simply the access of information and understanding how badly religion can affect.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got where I'm going. How these beliefs, these religious beliefs, can actually affect the well-being not only of the people who believe it, but the people who don't believe it also.
Sure. I mean, yes, I get where you're going, but like I said, I wonder how much it is that versus just either simply not caring. Like, I mean, a lot of millennials, I'm going to piss you off. If one of the 4 viewers there are millennial, sorry. But they're lazy. They're generally speaking, that is a horrible fallacy. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. But generally speaking, or at least I shouldn't say generally speaking, the millennials, the people that I've interacted with that are considered millennials, they are far less, they just seem lazier than us. Not lazy necessarily in a bad way, they just don't care as much about other things. They care about themselves or their music, or they care about things that generally tend to focus around them. And I'm just curious, I wonder if it's more that they're being educated and that they recognize, hey, look at the harm in this stuff, or if it's just that they just don't care, or maybe their parents didn't care. Maybe their parents were, somewhat similar to mine at some point in my Christianity, where we didn't go to church. We just didn't go for a while, and after you don't go for a while, I almost wonder, is it that it's just not consistently, you're not indoctrinated, you're not pushed and pushed and pushed, or is it, that you're more well educated, like you said? Is it that they're looking and going, wow, this is horrible, some shit's going on, or I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Of course, it's always harder for the older generation to understand the younger generation to a point, but
yeah,
yeah. But no, I mean, I really do think that it is the easy availability of access to information as opposed to, like, I mean, come on, look back at when you were 12.
The glory days.
The glory days. We did not.
The glory days.
We did not have, these many computers in our pockets here and had immediate access to any kind of information that we want. We had to get that kind of permission from our parents to go onto the computer, kind of thing. And I mean, I really do think that this younger generation, they are becoming more. The culture is lazy, just because that's kind of what's coming from the culture of our society right now, with like reality TV and all of this crap. Of course, reality TV is the problem of everything.
It is. Reality TV and religion. R&R.
Yeah, I really do think that it is just. They have such easy access to information that at least I would hope that they're becoming more well educated in aspects that they want to actually know about.
So, like, do you think that, like, just because they're more educated, or maybe because because they're more educated, that they're just less likely to buy into that bullshit? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of that on the internet, and like I said, there's a lot of stuff out there. So I mean, is it that, like, are you saying they're actively engaged in researching and finding more, or is it just that it's there and it's because it's there, they come across it, and that just helps with,
I think it would probably be a combination of a sorts, because I mean.
Losing viewers, David. We're losing viewers. They're going down.
I know, right? It would probably be more of a access to things that they actually want to know and things they actually want to learn about, as opposed to, the access to information that's shoved down their throats, kind of thing. Like before, when we were younger, when these things were pushed on us and shoved down our throat, it wasn't as easy for us to go out there and actually Google. Look up, what is up with this? What is? I have questions and doubts about this. Let me take a look at this. It's easy for them to go out and take a look at that.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. You said a few things that there was a very inappropriate joke that totally just flew through my mind. So I was going to totally say it, but
okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
That's really all. Yeah, kind of. I think it's more of a combination of sorts.
Interesting. Yeah, I would. I guess like I said, I would agree with that. Or I could see how that would make sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like we have another topic here to move to, but little do you know, viewers, or maybe you do know, we don't.
By this time, you should probably have figured it out that we did not come prepared at all.
Well, hold on. Yes, no, you're right. We didn't come prepared, but we did try to come prepared, and I think that should account for something, because we talked about it when I was on the train, and we said what we were going to do, and then we just got caught up with babies and other things.
Babies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Babies. So.
Well, I mean, if we're shooting for topics here, did you possibly want to talk about the most recent stuff with the Pope, or did you want to?
The Pope.
Oh, I know.
That's an interesting one. You know, sure, yeah, we can talk about the Pope, I suppose. That one's kind of fascinating because though I like that this new Pope seems to be more progressive, and he seems to be trying to bridge the gap. You know, whoa, I'm getting messaged.
Seems to be. I mean, at least from the some of the public interviews that he has given out, it seems to be that he is a little more progressive than what the church has done in the past.
Yes, absolutely, and it's definitely it's better, but like I said, there's a few things. One, I wonder, is it him because this is how he is, or is this him trying to bridge because they're losing patrons, they're losing money. I mean, they're losing, faith. Like I said, faith is essentially falling, whereas atheism is rising, or the rise of the nuns, and not nuns as in N-U-Ns.
Nons.
Nons. Non. Yeah, I mean, that's rising, and I wonder if he's just simply trying to like pull back people, like, oh shit, we're really out there. No, it's cool. We're not like that anymore. I'm a different guy. If it's him trying to bring in people, or if it's actually him. And then the second part of that is, honestly, I still don't like what they stand for. Like, I still completely disagree with him and what they stand for generally, and what they are. I mean, the hypocrisy of turning on the television and watching the Pope and his fucking gold throne. Who still has a fucking gold throne? A gold throne, and all this unbelievable,
unfathomable wealth. We
Yes.
don't know how much money they actually have under the Vatican.
Right, and it's like, and like the hypocrisy of it, as it says in their book, to be giving to the poor and to be doing all these things. And do they? Yes, sure. I'm not denying that they don't, or that they do. They definitely help out poor. They definitely do things. Now, arguably, I think that they're also doing more harm than they are doing good. And Africa is a great example of that. And the whole no condoms thing. AIDS is cool, but no condoms because God. I'm sorry, but every time it comes down to because God, it's a bullshit argument. And it's
and I mean, it's funny how in this most recent thing here, how he actually in that, I think it was like a 4-session interview that he did with this paper, how he came out to say that the church does need to start moving away from simple doctrine and things like that, and stop cracking down on contraception and birth control, abortion, gay marriage, and things like that. But then the day after the story is released, he comes out, and tells all those Catholic gynecologists to refuse any abortion services.
Yeah, and
it's like, dude, you just said.
Yeah.
You believe that the church needs to go this way, that they need to stop, discriminating against what the women's rights. It's the right to have a baby or not. That is their choice. It is no one else's choice except for the woman who is pregnant. And yet he turns around and says, actually, if you're Catholic and you're a gynecologist, don't do any abortions.
None.
None. It's okay if anybody else does it, but if you're Catholic, don't do it.
Yeah, and not to mention, I already mentioned, like, that drives me crazy. Just, like I said, let's exactly. Just the straight hypocrisy of just him. I mean, think about what you just said, or what he just said. Hey, we've been doing this for thousands of years, and it's in the book, and we've been using the excuse that it's in the book, and the reason that it's in my book for doing all of this shit. All of a sudden you're like, fuck it, we messed up. That's not actually what God wanted. He called me up and was like, dude, Pope Dizzle, what's up, dog? Listen, man, fucked it all up, man. Gay rights, they have a good point. I didn't think about that. So much for being all-knowing.
As long as you're a good person, I guess we could go ahead and let that slide.
Right? God.
No, it's actually funny on the whole gay marriage thing. You know that occasionally I like to look through Christian websites and apologetic websites and things like
I
that.
thought you were going to say gay porn, and I was like, yeah, I don't know that, but that's good to know. All right. Okay, keep going. That's more appropriate, too.
Anyway, I just saw this this website where they were talking about gay marriage and things like that, and they tried to use an apologetics tactic where the Bible, when it talked about homosexuality and that they were actually talking more about promiscuity, promiscuous homosexual sex. Like, not
promiscuous homosexual sex.
I don't know if I'm using
I like
the
my
right
promiscuous homosexual sex. Wow, that is a mouthful.
But
mouthful.
It comes down to a dedicated relationship that the Bible actually does not say that is an abomination. There's nothing in there that they're more. It's always the in context. It's always the interpretation of it that they were coming through. But their interpretation of it was that they were talking more about gay parties and gay orgies and things like that. That is not good in God's eye. But if you're a faithful couple and you're homosexual, God loves you for that.
God, you are making it hard with these various. These various sayings you have. You were able to. I just wrote down here on these notes. You did a great job getting through my distractions and nonsense, continuing your point. But you are using some phenomenal terms. Gay party. I like it. I don't think I've ever heard gay party before, and that sounds like fun. Dude, where you going? I'm going to a gay party, man. Dude, that sounds like one happy time. It is. It is.
I mean, have you ever wanted to go down
we'll
to
have a gay old time?
For some reason, I think that it would actually be kind of interesting to go to a gay bar just to be all like, nah,
Totally.
Just want to hang out with some dudes.
Just chilling.
Just dudes,
Chilling all Laxon.
Hate all these women hitting on me all the time, I just want to hang out with some guys.
Dude, speaking to the choir, man, tell me about it. God, every day. No, definitely every day. There's women hitting on me. Nope. That also was a lie. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a lie.
Yeah.
Well, that just got depressing. Here's the depressing part of the cast: is no, it's not. The depressing part. This is the only life you have to live. No, it's not. That's also not depressing.
No, yeah, not at all.
God hates you. How about that? Nope, that didn't work either. Bow. Yeah. Sorry. Trying to find something interesting to talk about with you, because you're not really that interesting, David.
I know. I didn't come up with any topics. I
did. Look at all this stuff I wrote down. There's like 6 bullet points this time.
Yeah, actually, I guess I should take a look at the.
Oh, they're literally just 6 bullet points. See? Good stuff, huh?
Very good.
Good stuff. Oh, I'm told that I should not talk about my sexual prowess. Well.
Oh, whatever, Amanda.
That was Candace.
Oh, whatever, Candace.
Yeah, no. Amanda's probably not worried. I mean, again, I know you see this, and lucky there's the interwebs and the screen between us, but hey, look, she ain't got nothing to worry about, Women come running by me. Just fly by me all the time. All right, I'm done with that conversation.
It just passed right by. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I'm gonna. Hey, you know what? It was kind of interesting. Let me see if I pull this up real quick. ScienceDaily.com. Science Daily. Yeah, little lightsabers. I posted in the group, dude. Apparently, scientists at Harvard and MIT have apparently found. I don't want to say created, because that's. They have made or found or whatever, categorized a new type of matter, and that is fucking exciting. You can find that in Science Daily.
Created out of light. It's actual light that has been transformed into physical matter that can be manipulated, and it's outrageous. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely nuts. I'm trying to read something that'll be something relatively interesting, for as prepared as I am. And here's something quite interesting. Oh man, I got big words in here. I got to freaking read. Great. Photonic molecules. That's all I wanted to throw out there. That's it. That's from the article. You can find more if you read more in the article. Three, enticing. Make you want to read it? You're welcome, Science Daily. More readers for you.
The future of this concept could be put into many different categories. Like in the article that they said that it can actually be worked into computing, where
Right.
They can make quantum computers. They can, of course, it's not their goal yet to create lightsabers, but
why not?
why not?
Well,
Also this could create like laser technology. Just the fact that you can turn light into physical matter,
right,
that you can manipulate.
And that's what I was going to say, is the fact that we can manipulate. That's the key piece, I think, is that once we're able to put it, once we're able to harness it and really understand it better, we're going to be able to do all sorts of things. And as far as computers and things, it's going to be unreal. We have fiber right now, and fiber is essentially light, basically traveling through cables, and it's phenomenally fast. And I wish I had fiber here. Come on, Comcast, give me fiber. Come on, Verizon. Someone.
With this concept, if they refine it, you would get to the point where you would not even need fiber optics to transmit information through the stream. It would literally be a data stream. It would literally be a light beam filled with information being streamed from point A to point B.
Dude, have you seen the latest porn? Check this shit out. Dude, that's cool. Why does it always come back to porn with you, David? Why?
Dude.
Is it because I have Katniss over here?
Hot.
Dude, she's got her eye on you.
Hot. She can shoot me with an arrow anytime.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. Have you seen... I'm not even going to go that. All right, yes.
Reviews for the new movie? Yes.
Reviews for the new movie look awesome. She also had some pictures Amanda showed me. I'm not that much of a gossip queen. I'm sorry that this is going to get slightly gossip queenish, but she showed me some cool pictures after the first movie of her, like posing in front of cars and things. Yeah, she's gorgeous. She's a very good-looking girl.
Oh, no. Oh, damn right.
Thank you, but can we keep talking about her? Oh, Dunch. Too lazy to go get that in the Google effects. So, yeah. Well, let's think. Okay. Well, let's talk about. I suppose we probably can get to wrapping this bad boy up here soon. So, I'm gonna say that, and all 5 of those viewers are just gonna bail. Gone. There goes one. See, told you. You fuckers. You fuckers. You. Yeah, so I figure we're gonna. How often do you want to do this? So we've done now 3. We've done 3 casts.
3, 2 technically under the Prophetcast, and that first episode. Oh man, if anybody that is watching and they want to go back and watch our very first episode, just skip to about 20-30 minutes in. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, the first 30 minutes is just us trying to. Really, that should be our. We should name that to our test cast.
Test cast, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Frequency of how often we can do this. I don't know. Like I said last time, I would think that at a minimum we would try to do it every other week, at a minimum. But of course, I would like to try and get together every week and possibly get more people in on the conversation, of course.
Definitely. And see, here's the thing, too, is I was also thinking, obviously, depending on how far we actually take the nonprofits and whether we go with the nonprofit organization, there might be more things that we do to it. But, I like doing this, and I definitely, obviously, the viewers or anybody else that watches this later, if you guys are totally interested in jumping on and having discussions with us and maybe being able to keep us on track for once, that would be awesome. Like, we're more than happy to have you guys on. Here's the thing, is that this is kind of like we kind of talked about this previously, is that this is really kind of for us. Like I want a way to be able to talk with people, and I want to hear people's opinions. And I like podcasts. I love listening to those things. But the thing about most podcasts is that it's they're structured, and I mean I don't mind structure.
I mean, look, we've been talking for about an hour now, and we haven't said shit.
Right, we had almost nothing written down, and see, here's, I mean, as much as structure is good, and I think that we could probably benefit from some structure that, I'm not saying that we couldn't, but I would very much like to be able to have our, have Prophetcasts as a bunch of prophets, a bunch of you guys with us talking about shit. You don't have to have a video. You don't have to even use your real name or whatever. You can, just sit and chat with us. But I am very interested in hearing other people's opinions, and I'm interested in having discussions and learning more. And I don't know how much I'm interested in being organized and prepared, but you could probably sway my decision.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, for instance, look at me. I don't have a webcam yet, and just so that Candace can get off my back, next paycheck.
Next paycheck, yo. Get off his back, man.
I'm getting it next paycheck. All right? That way you can take a look at me and my glory.
Without the mustache. Because it's not real. I don't know if you guys know this, but that's not a real mustache. I'm sorry. I ruined it, but it's not real.
I wish that I could grow a mustache like that. That'd be awesome. I would change my name to Gustavo.
Gustavo. Hola!
How are you doing today? I don't always do podcasts, but when I do, I do...
Sweet.
Prophetcast.
Prophetcast. Mm-hmm. Anyways, yes, so like I said, I want more people, and I want to do this more, and I mean, it's, we're just having an informal conversation. Cameron. There you go, buddy. And I want more of that. Like I said, I think that this style, if you will, is not only more fun, but you actually get something out of it. Like I said, like we were talking about, you're not in a structured block. You're not like, okay, though I enjoy what I'm listening to, okay, here comes this segment. Okay, here comes this segment. And the hosts are, I'm gonna say they're always the same people, but I like hearing from the normal, from the normal, average, everyday American, everyday person. I like hearing from you guys, and I like having conversations, and I want to have more conversations with regular people, and I think that other regular people can benefit from this kind of thing. I think that they can benefit from seeing this really, really good-looking guy and his amazing voice talk, and look at this really small camera in front of me.
And I mean, like you said, oh man.
Don't mind me.
Way to go. Like you said, I think that this is actually more beneficial to actually creating a dialogue.
Yeah.
To where, when you have that structured format, it's really just bullet points. It's really just talking points where people actually, they have the topic beforehand, they figure out what they're going to say, and in some instances they elaborate on that. But, I mean, with what we're doing here, we don't have any kind of set up dialogue or set up scripture or scripture.
Nice. What's on your mind?
We don't even have any kind of actually set up topics. It's just, what are we doing?
Technically, the website's not up either. Sorry, I'm busy as shit. No, exactly. And though it sometimes is. Like, I feel like, we're just kind of sitting here mumbling, and it can't possibly be a good show.
Nothing that we said tonight is beneficial at all.
It would not surprise me if the feedback we get back from tonight is, dude, we finally you guys had viewers, we actually watched your shit, you guys fucking sucked. Oh, I sat through an hour of what? Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah. See
the sad face? This is a sad... Come on, give us good reviews. No, I'm just kidding. Would it be hypocritical of me to say that I don't give a shit what you think after just saying how much I care about what you think?
Well, do you believe that you care about people believing in what other people think?
Why don't you just throw believe in there again?
Well, I actually, when I got called out for calling the Pope a hypocrite on what he just recently said, it came down to me looking up the definition of hypocritical, and it imposes on beliefs. And if I remember correctly, in that article, he said that he believes that this is where the church needs to go. So he was being a hypocrite.
Yes,
He said that he believed that the church need to move that way, and then he turned around and told those gynecologists to go against what he said he believed the church should do. So,
I could see the argument of semantics possibly, but I definitely don't know if I could agree with the idea of, well, it all depends on who he's talking to. It's like when you're a public figure, you could say, oh, I'm addressing only the Christians, but you do recognize that we can have an opinion about that, and that seems pretty hypocritical. Like, that's a valid opinion based on what you're saying, because we're looking at what you're saying, not who you are or who you're addressing, because it shouldn't matter who you're addressing. If you have something of importance to say, and you're a figure like they are, and you stand for what Catholicism and Christianity stands for or whatever, then you better hope, you better recognize that your shit's going to be scrutinized. I mean, look at the president, look at any president, look at any main figure, look at Richard Dawkins, another good example.
About to bring up a good example of if you're a public figure, it matters what you say, no matter who you're saying it to. Good example, what happened to Mitt Romney and that banquet that he was at. He thought he was addressing, rich white people. And as a public figure, he went out there and he was addressing this certain group of people. And it's like, well, you're still a public figure. There's video cameras in every phone. What makes you think that you're not going to, that this public-ish meeting is not going to be taken in reference to the actual public?
Right.
Yeah. It's a good example. So I mean, of course, some people said the whole thing, it matters on who he was talking to, but, people horribly went after him for that, but this whole thing with the Pope, people are like, oh, he was addressing his own people, it's fine.
Right, and this was just recently brought up to me by someone on the internet. It's probably not that important, but that it's more. I guess technically, what he's saying is more along the lines of a contradiction than necessarily that it's hypocritical. But I think personally, it's such a fine line. I would say in terms of that particular situation. I mean, it is definitely a contradiction from what he's saying. I believe this, and all of a sudden, there's definitely a contradiction there. I'm definitely not denying that. But in terms of hypocrisy, I'm borderline. Like it seems I can see how it doesn't. It's more contradiction than it is hypocritical. But I can also see like that. To me, that kind of seems kind of hypocritical also. So I don't know. Regardless, we could just all agree that it's definitely a contradiction from what he said.
At the very least.
At the very least, and that is where I think I'll leave it with my point. That's right, my point.
Bam.
It's a contradiction.
The Steve has spoken.
I'm guessing in about 10 seconds I'm going to get an instant message. Should we wait? Just sit here for 10 seconds and wait, see if I'm right? You can watch me.
A message from who?
From that random person on the internet that pointed out that it was a contradiction, not hypocritical.
See, I want to see where the heck you're talking to people, because I'm just sitting here all by myself.
I forgot to mention, I got fans, and they like to talk to me, and they were asking me to axe one of the co-hosts, and well, one of them's already gone, so sorry, buddy. Where's the kick button? No, I've got him on. Ha! There it is. See, told you. Boom! I was waiting for that one. All right.
Whoa! Hey, look at that. Questions.
Yeah, there's a Q&A on here. I opened it up, but
sorry. Hey.
Whoa! I did not even see this. Sorry, guys. Wow. Oh my gosh! I don't even know who these people are.
Okay, so to Mitch Hammond, we don't really have a topic. We're just going off of whatever we want, just because, like we were saying, we don't have a structure. We feel that this is more beneficial just to get whatever kind of discussion out there.
Yeah. Wow, this is cool. Sorry, guy. I didn't even realize that.
Oh, and Donald
I'm selecting here.
McKintry wants to know where
Where's
the article is. Yeah, we're probably going to post that up in the description later.
Yeah, it'll be down there. But you can also go to Science Daily. It was just posted this morning on Science Daily, and yeah, it rocks. So definitely recommend checking out that.
And Mr. Timberlake, Mr. Kendrick, sure, yeah, we're wanting to talk about random stuff. If you have a topic or a question that you want us to talk about, now that we are actually looking at your questions, feel free to bring something up if you'd like.
Yeah, my bad. I put that up, but I mean, the very beginning there were no questions, so I didn't think anybody was actually going to use it. So that's really cool.
That's really weird because the Q&A under the Hangout here, it actually doesn't show any of the questions in there. It's only coming up under the post that you made on there.
Yeah. And dang it. Oh, I wish I could hit that question again. So Kendrick also said, well, I see it as the Pope just doesn't want to press the issue as much as it's been in the past. Yeah, totally agree with you. Sorry, I closed your question. I'm just figuring out how this shit works. Yeah, no, totally. I think that's a good point. But I mean, still though, even though, what do I want to say here? Got me all nervous. I don't even know who you are. What are you asking me questions for? Damn it, I just said I want your questions.
As the Pope just doesn't want to press the issue as much as it has been in the past. Yeah. I can agree with that. Like we've said, the Pope has come out to say that the Church needs to step away from these kinds of things, and that they need to be more of an inclusive church instead of a small-ish community church. And I can definitely agree with that. So I see where you're coming from there.
Yeah, totally.
And it's nice that he's actually doing that, as opposed to the other popes that we've had in the recent times here, because they've been all about these specific topics, and I just want to see him move on to different things. I want to see him actually move on to possibly getting involved with more social issues and things like that.
Sure, and I suppose, time will tell. His actions are going to speak louder than his words, and rightly so. So we'll kind of see what he's going to do. But yeah, I agree with you, man. I think that maybe that's he just doesn't want to push it as much. Oh, Mitch, what's up, man? That's awesome. You're actually hanging out with us. Cool. I'll click this one and say, yes, it is. Done. Bam. So, IRC, no, we pretty much just use Hangout, just the chat feature on that screen. That screen, Anyways, we use kind of the Hangout, and then David and I actually happen to live in the same state, about 15, 20 minutes away from each other, so we just talk and see each other and hang out, and everybody else, like Candace and my wife, and obviously I live with my wife. Candace is in Ohio, Kyra and a number of other people that are also frequent profiteers. Ooh, that's a good one. Frequent profiteers, nonprofits. That we just oh, sorry. I think I just realized what you might actually be looking for. We have a Facebook group called The Nonprofits.
Oh yeah. If you were to get involved with our conversations and possibly get involved with the cast at some point, we have a Facebook group, The Nonprofits. Or wait, it's just Nonprofits, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just Nonprofits, yeah. And
we'll probably put a link up in the description for that as well.
Totally, I do for the Facebook group. We also have one here on Google. We've got a Google Plus. There's really nobody in it. No one really does anything. We've got to tweak it and do a little bit more. But we're kind of like I said earlier, like the website and stuff's not done. We're kind of in midstream of getting all this stuff kind of organized and put together. Like I said, initially this is mostly just like David and I just wanting to be able to talk and be able to record and maybe, put something together either to listen to again later, or, like I said, if someone else can get benefits out of it, then great. But yeah, Oh, nice, Pennsylvania. PA is Pennsylvania, right? Yeah.
I believe so.
Oh, oh, oh. What did I say? I said, oh, you're right. Sorry, you're not Ohio. You're Idaho.
Ha 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 ha.
My bad,
Yes.
Candace. Sorry.
I laugh at you as well.
So.
I can't even read your
Whoa.
name. It's come up.
Whoa. Hi.
Is that?
Hi, dude. I don't know what. I'm sorry. I don't know what that says. Although it looks really cool, and I don't know if that's rude. I'm uncultured. I've said it like every podcast. I'm sorry. That is cool, man. Anyways, cool.
Hello, greetings. I'm glad that we've been able to branch out.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, wow. I mean, yeah, you guys are like asking us questions and things. Holy cow. Yes. Oh, here. You know what? I would agree with this because I wanted to hit on this a little bit more. Something from earlier. Kendrick says, I don't know if you guys can actually see this, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating it, but you guys should do this more than every 2 weeks. And what is it? What does the name of the group mean? So yeah, I actually am thinking. I was just thinking to myself, maybe I should do this. I'm going to do this maybe every Sunday or at least once a week. And whether we actually label it as a Prophetcast or not, I don't know. We'll have to kind of talk about that. We might want to maybe try to keep some of them separate and have like I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm more than happy to keep the Prophetcast the shit out of this and go like 50,000 episodes. But I kind of want to do it every week, and I kind of just want to start opening it up to be able to talk with people I don't say don't know, but anyone that wants to come in and start chatting, kind of like we're doing, and so I definitely want to do that. As for the group, the nonprofits, it's like prophets that.
Profits that
They're prophets. I don't. Yeah. It was kind of a play on words. Non-prophets that were not actually prophets. And then as for if you're also referring to Prophetcast is just Prophetcast, play on words again. But yeah, it's just non-prophets is just kind of a play on words.
Yeah.
And I am just I really like the name. I think it's kind of a fun, little catchy name.
And awesome, Mitch. You should post up a link or something to,
yes.
Well, I guess we can Google your name, as you said, for your podcast there. That's pretty awesome.
Yes.
And to move on to a quick question that you put here,
Wow.
I wouldn't necessarily consider myself anti-religious. I mean, to a point, I can understand that there are a lot of things bad things that have been spurred on by religion, but mainly that's the people who use their beliefs and their interpretation of the religion to justify those bad things. Steve, I'm going to use your little quote here. You know how Christians, they have hate the sin, not the sinner.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Hate the religion, not the religious. So, I mean, there's a lot of good people in religion, and there's a lot of bad people in religion. It's not necessarily the religion that determines whether or not they're a good person. It's just whether or not they decide to use that as a tool for their misdeeds.
Yep.
So, anti-religion, not so much. I mean, I don't want to sit here and abolish all religion, but
Right. And yeah, I mean, and as for me, that's a tough one. Am I anti-religious in the sense that I am not for religion itself? Yeah, I mean, yes. I really don't like religion. I really think that it's very harmful. I really think that there's plenty of evidence that demonstrates it, and I also think that it devalues you. It devalues your own life and devalues everything about you. I mean, we talked about this in the previous podcast for the something about I'm nothing without God, and like I said, when you look at religion, generally what they're saying is you're damaged, you're broken, you're not good enough, and here's ways that we can fix it. Personally, I'm sorry, but I think that we can fix it by actually having conversations and actually being social and having empathy and having compassion and actually care about one another. I don't think we need some book or some guideline that says, hey, everybody, there's this magical sky daddy that created everything and he hates you unless you love him, and then I think that's just stupid, and I think that it's like I said, it devalues you, it's demoralizing, and it doesn't really help anybody personally. I think
Which
that
even really that, well, yeah, just to cut in here, that concept of God love there, where it's like, you have to love me or else, that kind of goes against, what was taught in 1 Corinthians, if you think about it.
yes, yeah, and of course then you can it's all about how you
that concept of what love is, that doesn't really translate very well to the love that God supposedly gives you.
No more. Sorry. Apparently my wife really wants to get in on this. She really wants to scream and yell about something.
Oh, Candace, why you gotta poke up like that real quick here? What are you saying? What are you saying, Candace?
So, whoa. Here.
Whoa!
I'll put Candace up here. Candace, one of our fellow nonprofits. Oh, David, good. Don't ask me questions. Can you see that, David? Yeah, you can. Yeah, of course you can see it.
Totally just lost it here.
That's right. It says, Candace said, I'll try. You don't want to abolish all religion, or you don't want to bash all religion, Dave? Sorry.
Oh, no, I want to bash on all religion as much as I can, to a point.
Bash like a warrior with a shield.
But to abolish all religion, I mean, like I said earlier, I just don't see how that can really happen effectively.
The internet. Cats. Oh! Cats! Speaking of cats, hey, I wanted to say something that's completely off topic, but I thought was awesome. I just heard this earlier. We've kind of reverted, you know how they say history repeats itself. We're back in the days, in the era of the Egyptians. We're back onto writing on walls and worshiping cats. Oh! Right? Pretty good, huh? All right, sorry.
That's pretty good. And so Mitch said something here. There are a lot of people that don't believe in God at all and are good people. I'm not saying I agree with those people. Wait, there are a lot of people that don't believe in God at all and are good people.
Yep, agreed.
Oh, no, yeah, agreed. I mean, like I said, it's the people. And like we said a little bit earlier, I don't know if you were watching during that, but the beliefs shouldn't really matter too much. More or less, it's the actions. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but when it comes down to your actions, whether or not those beliefs actually play onto your actions, like,
they do.
Of course, going with of course, but I mean, like, actually
whether
engaging in those, like, so you can believe that gay people shouldn't get married, but it's once you actually take the steps to ensure that gay people shouldn't get married is when you have a problem.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, suppose once you impose it on other people, impose your beliefs on other people. Yeah. Yeah. I agree too. I mean, just like Dave said, I'm totally going to make sure that everyone knows this was my quote. I was pretty excited about it. But yeah, similar to as religious people know, hate the sin, not the sinner. It's hate the religious, or hate the religion, not the religious. It's that, same kind of concept. I do not hate Christians. I don't hate Muslims. I don't hate people of religion, who believe this stuff. I don't hate them at all. I don't see them even as lesser people. I just simply, that's one aspect that I disagree with, and I'm not going to try to treat somebody differently because they believe something different than me, but you can be damn sure that I'm going to ask you questions, especially if you're going to make claims about reality. There's a huge difference between I believe what I want to believe because I want to believe it. Cool, we got nothing. I mean, we might have some things to talk about, but in terms of trying to convince or convert or whatever the case may be, but in terms of trying to have an actual meaningful discussion, we got nothing to talk about if you're just going to come up with, well, I believe because I believe. But if you're going to come up with what I believe, and it's a claim about reality, which I happen to live in and want to know more about, and you say, well, and here's my evidence. All right, well, now we're talking here. If you've got some stuff you want to show, present, you want to talk, you're ready for criticism, you're ready to, to go back and forth, perfect. Then let's do that. But most of the time, most people don't want to talk.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. But yeah, I agree with you, dude. I totally agree with you. Totally. I'm also looking at your page. Sweet. I can't wait to watch some of your podcasts, Mitch. That's going to be great.
So I'm guessing that this unbootable this is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, producer. Mitch Handel.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. Well, that's exciting. Like I said, that's pretty sweet. I'm totally stoked. I see that you're a geek, so not many people are going to get that, Mitch, I don't think.
Oh, Linux.
Linux. Yeah, let's turn this into a geek podcast. Actually, it could do that too. Anyways, yeah. All right, I think that it's about time that we close this bitch down. So it was cool. We had flux of a bunch of viewers. Hopefully this please, all viewers, feel free to send it to your friends, tell your friends to watch, listen, come check us out. I definitely would love to. I mean, obviously everybody would love to get popular, right? That would be cool. But in all honesty, I'd really like to talk with you. I really want to talk and learn and.
I want to be one of the cool kids.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But Candace asked one more good question, I think.
Oh no.
I know. When Candace asks, when she starts talking.
Okay, so from a Miss Candace Bell, or Mrs. Candace Bell, would you agree or disagree with the interference that while good Christian people may not actively promote religious-based violence, they support the same doctrine and religion of science that fundamentalists support and are therefore fanning the flames? Absolutely.
Rejection of science.
Rejection of science? Where did it say that? Sorry, okay.
Or the same doctrine and rejection of science.
Obviously, rejection of science, yes. Obviously, I can't read, but absolutely, yes, of course. By believing in the same doctrine, indirectly you are supporting those fundamentalists and those extremists that are within your religion.
Your fodder.
Yes, exactly. You are tools for those people to use in order to say, that. In order for them to say that their religion is not all bad, that they're actually doing good work because there's good Christians out there. Just like how you can turn around and, I guess, I hate to get into this again, but you can take a look at Islam. That there are extremist, fundamentalist Islamists out there that feel that by going out and suicide bombing and killing other people that they are adhering to the most basic form of their religion, and by the more progressive Islamists out there who don't take that interpretation, indirectly you are supporting those people by supporting the religion.
Indirectly.
I mean, you're not actually giving them the bombs or anything, but you're giving them the right to hold that belief and use that belief in the way that they want to.
Yep. I'm rereading this question. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, it's fodder, and I think also that it's also more than just your roadblocks to. You said something about being roadblocks. I was going to basically jump in and say that I also think that just being, good Christian people, and you may not be fundamentalists, you're a roadblock to people like me, and maybe not me personally, because I have no shame and don't mind jumping out and talking with people. But there are other people. I know a few people that don't go out and talk to people. They don't bring up the religion. They don't bring up anything. They don't ask questions. And I'm not going in the right direction. I totally misread that. Sorry. Yeah.
Where are you going?
I don't know. Oh, I'm so tired. Sorry.
And yes, Mitch, I think we can all agree that the Westboro Baptist Church are a bunch of nutcases, and not only that, but they have been labeled as a hate group. Woo!
Yes. Good. Oh, I remember what I was saying. Right. So, like I said, there are people who don't actually go out and talk and ask other people about their beliefs, or even are willing to share their beliefs because they are so. That is not what you're asking. F it. I'm not answering your question, Candace. Sorry. I am done. No.
Well,
David,
okay.
I think, did a fair enough job.
Yeah, but I mean, no, I see. That kind of. I don't think that's what she was trying to ask.
No. Sorry, that was my ADD brain, going down the route and then it kind of doing one of these and then it going, that was a good way. I like that topic. Go this way. Yeah, sorry, that happens. Well, at least it was at the end of the podcast, so. Right?
At least, yeah, you didn't have, the majority of the podcast as your ADD.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good for anybody.
Uh,
Nice. All right. Well.
Geez, it's been probably, we got an hour and a half under our belt here, huh?
Nice.
We're averaging out about an hour and a half on these things, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't mind the hour and a half. I think that's a pretty good marker. So.
Yeah.
So. Oh, cool. They can't see the questions. Cool. So we don't actually need to read them. Right on. Awesome. Well, yeah. Like I said, I'm before I make myself look any more of a fool than I already have. I'm gonna go ahead and say we're going to. Yeah. I'm gonna do this again on Sunday. I think. I think I've got time on Sunday. So, it's Sunday around like 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 Pacific Standard Time. You can hit me up on Twitter. There. Hit me up on Twitter if you are interested.
My Twitter here as well.
There's David's. And you can also hit us up on, obviously, Google+, Facebook. Steve Hayes should be able to find me, or David. Also, same thing with the group, Nonprofits. We don't have a the. I might try to change that later. But go there. And like I said, if you guys want to jump in this next coming podcast, or if you want to jump in a future one, maybe if you want to prep yourself or, like I said, actually do one that has some preparation, I'd be more than happy to do that. And
we'll try to be a little more prepared. Hopefully there'll be some cool stuff to talk about in the news or something. And
Yeah. This was this was a good one.
Going back to making this a geek show, did you hear about? I think it was a German hacking group that has already hacked the software and the hardware to the iPhone's new thumbprint scanner.
Yes, I did hear about that.
Yeah. I thought that was hilarious. That within like a couple of a week or so of them launching, that whole concept, that there's already a hacker group out there that's all like, "Yep, screw you guys, we got this."
Yeah, and well, I mean that yes, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and yes, I read about that. There was a $20,000 bounty, if you will, is what was put out for that. And yeah, I mean, money always motivates, but also you don't challenge geeks. I mean, you put a challenge like that up for geeks, you damn sure that it's gonna be blown away. Like, yeah, geeks don't fuck around like that. And oh boy, that's good or bad. I'll just go ahead and back and try to clarify real quick what I couldn't say earlier. What I said earlier didn't make any sense, so just ignore it. Like, I know that you probably did anyways, but just ignore what I just said earlier about Candace's question. Good Christians, fodder, blah blah blah. My brain was not working properly.
No, not at all.
All right, it was rebooting. Everybody can't hear the Windows sound in my head. Plus, it's also Windows, so it blue screened. Sorry, that's more appropriate. My brain just blue screened. My bad.
You need to upgrade from XP, man.
Trying this Windows 8 touch interface, but nothing seems to be working. Yeah. So, well, like I said, I think this was again fun. Thank you, David, for joining me today. And yeah, like I said, definitely check out our website, nonprofits.com. I'll try to get that up as soon as I can. Follow us on Twitter.
We'll be putting links in the description.
Yeah, we'll put some stuff in there, and if we don't, or if it's taking too long, like I said, hit us up. I'm going to get the emails and stuff up also soon, so maybe a week, hopefully by Sunday. I'll do what I can. So, yeah, so like I said, thanks a lot, everyone, for joining us on the Prophetcast. And once again, we're the Nonprofits. I'm Steve Hayes.
And I'm David Curry.
And you guys have a godless night.